If you read Jeremiah chapter number 36, verse number 30, it says that Joachim, the father of Joachim, no one will be able to sit on his throne. The throne of David, no one will be able to sit after Joachim. If you read later on 2 Kings chapter number 24, verse number 6, it says that Joachim, after he died, later on, Joachim sat on the throne. Unfulfilled prophecy. One is sufficient to prove it's not the word of God.
Was this prophecy unfulfilled? Nah, the prophecy was fulfilled. Dr. Naik does not understand the God he claims to serve. He doesn't understand the God he claims to worship. Because if Christians, Jews, and Muslims worship the same God, then we should have the same understanding about God. But no, Dr. Naik's understanding of God is far away from the understanding Christians and Jews have of God. Now, these are the facts. King Joachim died and his son reigned in his place. Meanwhile, in Jeremiah chapter 36, verse 30, it was written that after Joachim, no one will sit on the throne of Israel, of Judah. No one will sit on his throne to continue after him. But his son sat on the throne. Does that make that prophecy unfulfilled? No. The prophecy was actually fulfilled. Now the son reigned in Israel. The son reigned on the throne. Was on the throne for about 3 months before Nebuchadnezzar had come to capture the whole of Judah and sent him on exile. And an exiled king cannot be regarded as a king anymore because he's no longer in control of his territory. He's on exile. He can't rule from anywhere else. That is basically. But that is not even the main point. The main point is this. The throne had been lost even when Joachim was still alive. Because Joachim started doing evil in the sight of God, and he started worshipping Baal and started offering sacrifices of children to Baal. So God had taken away his kingdom from him. God said in his word that it is with righteousness that a throne is established. Just as it is with righteousness that a kingdom is established, it is with righteousness that a throne is established. I hope we're getting this. So Joachim was no longer righteous, and God knew for a fact that his son will also not be righteous. So, in the eyes of God, their throne was not established. They were just sitting there figuratively. But in the actual sense, in God's eyes, they are not kings. I give you another example. Saul the Benjamite was anointed king in Israel, and was ruling until started disobeying God, and when he started doing that, God took away his throne from him. Saul was still seated on the throne, but he was no longer the king in God's sight. Saul was still seated on the throne. God anointed David the king over Israel. Saul was still alive. Saul was still on the throne. People were still paying obeisance to Saul, but he was no longer king in God's eyes. Same thing with Joachim and his son. They were no longer king in God's eyes, but they were seated on the throne figuratively. Even after the Jews came back from captivity, after the great King Cyrus ordered that they go back to their place, Zedekiah came in his place, and he was not even regarded as king. He was called a governor all through the time. So Saul was no longer king, even though he was on the throne, and God even anointed David as king over Israel while Saul was on the throne. God started acting with David as the king over Israel while Saul was still alive. Same thing applied to Joachim and his son. So Dr. Naik does not understand these things. Were these prophecies unfulfilled? No, the prophecies were fulfilled. That prophecy was fulfilled by all stretch of the imagination. Anyways, if you have not yet subscribed to the channel, please support me by hitting the subscribe button. Like this video and let me have your thoughts in the comment section.